Good morning, children. Welcome back to the online class of Social Studies. How are you all? Hope all are safe at home. So today we are going to study our third chapter, Major Landforms of the World. Myself, Savita. Landforms. Do you know the landforms are the gift of nature? They are the gift of nature. That means the major landforms, the earth's surface is not same everywhere. The earth's surface is not same everywhere. It is different in different regions. See, this is a mountain and here we are having a plain surface and the trees are here. Okay, so major landforms of the world. So landforms are the gift of nature. And the landforms, the earth's surface is not same everywhere. The earth's surface having solid surface and liquid surface. The land areas are meant for solid surface and water bodies are the liquid surface. So now we are going to discuss about the major landforms. Landforms. I have told you they are the gift of nature. So natural features of the earth, they are the natural features of the earth surface are known as landforms. Okay, they are the natural features. They are the gift of nature. And I can give examples like mountain is a landform, mountain is a landform, a plain is a landform, hills are landform, desert, all these are the examples for landform. So once again, what is a landform? They are the natural features. They are the natural features on the earth's surface. They are the gift of nature. Who will give an example for a landform? Yes, a mountain is a landform. So these are different types of landform. An island is a landform, a lake is a landform, an ocean is a landform, a desert is a landform, waterfall, river, hills, mountains, volcano, glacier, canyon, plain. All these things are the examples of landforms. Keep in mind that they are the natural features. Landforms are the natural features. They are the gift of nature. They are the gift of nature. And the examples are island, lake, oceans, desert, waterfall, river, hills, mountains, volcano, glacier, canyon, and plains. So first we are going to discuss about mountains. The mountains are the rocky masses. They are the rocky masses. Mountains are the rocky masses that are higher than the surrounding with steep slope. Once again, what are mountains? They are the rocky masses. They are the rocky masses that are higher than the surrounding area, with steep slopes, a mountain. Okay, once again, a mountain are rocky. They are the rocky masses. And that are higher than the surrounding area. These are the surrounding area. It may be a plain area. So they are higher than the surrounding area. They are higher than the surrounding area with a steep slope. Okay, with a steep slope. These are known as slopes. So this is an example for a mountain. I have told you they are the rocky masses. The mountains are the rocky masses. So, okay, they are the rocky masses and they are higher than the surrounding. Here we can see these are the mountains and here some hills are here, small hills are here. Okay, and here one sandy area is here, sandbar or the sandy area is here, and this is a water body. And I have told you that the mountains are higher than the surroundings. They are higher than the surroundings. See, first the water body, next the sandy area, plants, hills, and the highest one is the mountains. Clear? So mountains are the rocky masses. They are the rocky masses. They are higher than the surrounding area. They are higher than the surrounding area. Is it clear? Next, the mountains are formed. They are formed as a result of several kinds of movements. The mountains are formed. They are formed as a result of several kinds of movements. There are different kinds of movements are there. And in your textbook, the types of mountains are there. The types of mountain you know to study. And here, the formation, the kinds of formation, how the mountains are formed. I can give an example of volcanic eruption. So, once again, mountains are formed as a result of several kinds of movements, And one example for you, volcanic eruption. See, this is a volcano. This is also an example for a volcano. And finally, after this volcanic eruption, the end of the volcanic eruption, we'll get a mountain like this. See, this is a mountain. And I have told you, all the mountains are formed by different movements. And example for one movement is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption is actually only one movement. There are so many movements like faulting, etc. But I'll give an example only about the volcanic eruption. See, the volcanoes are erupting. They were emitting fumes, ashes, and the fire, etc. Finally, after so many years, the end product of a volcano is a volcanic mountain. See, this is a volcanic mountain. Is it clear? Next, mountain range. What is a mountain range? A mountain range. Mountain range. A long chain of mountains. A mountain range means it's a long chain of mountains. They are the long chain of mountains. Long chain of mountains is called a range. The Himalayan range. So what are the chain of mountains means? Chain of mountains like this. So what is a mountain range? A long chain. It's a chain of mountains. Chain of mountains is called a mountain range. And do you know that the Himalayan range, the northernmost part of India, the Himalayan range is the world's highest mountain range. So once again, what is a mountain range? It's a chain of mountains. Simply we can say that it's a chain of mountains. What is it? Chain of mountains, and Himalayan range is the world's highest mountain range. So this is the mountain range. I have told you it's a chain of mountains. What is the mountain range? It's a chain of mountains. See, it is continuous, no? It is continuous. Okay, the mountains are continuously drawn here. So like this is what is Himalayan range. What is the range? Chain of mountains. Simply we can say that chain of mountains. And Himalayan range is one of the world's highest mountain range. And about the Himalayas have three main ranges. Himalayas have three main ranges. The Himalayas have three main ranges. They are the Greater Himalayas or the Himadri. These are the green part showing the Greater Himalayas, the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal, and the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. Once again, the Himalayas have three main ranges. What is the range? Chain of mountains. What is the range? Chain of mountains. And the Himalayas having three main ranges running parallel. Running parallel means they were running parallel. Parallel means like this, they were running parallel to each other. Himalayas are running parallel to each other. And they are the Greater Himalayas or the Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal, and the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. So which are the three mountain ranges of Himalaya? They are Greater Himalayas or Himadri, Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and finally the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. Here the green color is of Greater Himalaya, next the blue color is of Lesser Himalaya, and finally the pink color, see the pink color is of the Shivaliks or the Outer Himalayas. Clear? Next, peak. What is a peak? We can see a mountain here, and the mountains have pointed tops. Mountains have pointed tops. Mountains have pointed tops called peaks. These are the pointed tops. See, this is pointed tops. Okay, this is the top of a mountain. So a peak means mountains have pointed tops are called peaks. Mountains have pointed tops are called peaks. Next, Mount Everest. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. See, this is Mount Everest. See, this is Mount Everest. Okay, and this is what is known as the peak of a mountain. The topmost point of a mountain is known as peak. Okay, so here Mount Everest in the Himalayas is the highest peak in the world. This is the highest peak in the world. Next, pass. The other landform is pass. It's a low, narrow passage or a gap between. It's a gap between two mountains. It's a gap between mountain ranges. Is known as a pass. A gap between mountain ranges is known as a pass. And the pass helps the people. The pass helps the people to cross the mountains. So once again, what is a pass? A low, narrow passage. It is a low, narrow passage, and it's a gap. Actually, it is a gap between the mountain ranges. The mountains is known as a pass. A gap between the mountains is a pass, and the pass helps the people to cross the mountains. Example, Khyber Pass and Bolan Pass. Okay, I'll show a picture for you. This is a pass, and we learned that a pass is a gap. It's a low area. See, this is a pass. This is pass. Okay, it's a gap between the mountains. It's a gap between the mountains. So what is a pass? A gap between the mountains is known as a pass, and through which the people can cross. Through that, the people can cross. Okay, is it clear? Next landform is valley. The low-lying area between hills or mountains is called a valley. Low-lying area. Okay, so these are the mountains. Okay, and there is a low-lying area in between here. And actually, these valleys are formed by the action of rivers. They are formed by the action of rivers. So what is a valley? It's a low-lying area. It's a low-lying area between hills or mountains is called a valley. And so this is a valley. See, this is a valley, and these all are the mountains. The mountains are here, and this is the low-lying area. See, the valleys are formed by the rivers flow through them. The valleys are formed by the rivers flow through them. The rivers make the valley fertile. Do you know how the rivers make the valley fertile? When the rivers flowing, they will definitely deposit soils in the banks of the river. The rivers will deposit soils in the banks of the river. That soil is known as alluvial soil, and alluvial soil is a type of soil, and it is the most fertile soil for all the plants. Alluvial soil is the most fertile soil. So valleys are formed by the action of rivers. Valleys are formed by the action of rivers. And in you have two examples, Kashmir Valley and Switzerland Valley are of the most beautiful valleys in the world. I'll show the pictures of Kashmir Valley, and this is Kashmir Valley, and I have told you that the rivers, the valleys are formed by the action of rivers. See, this is a valley in Kashmir. Actually, this river is Jhelum River. It's a tributary of river Indus. Tributary is nothing but it is a branch of river. The river the river, if you consider that this is a river, okay. When a river enter into the main river, this river is known as a tributary. It is known as a tributary. Once again, Kashmir Valley, I have told you that the valleys are formed by the action of rivers. When the rivers flow through the valley, they will definitely deposit. See, they will definitely deposit sands here. See, all these are the deposits of sand, and these sands will make the soil in the valleys very fertile. They are alluvial soil. So Kashmir Valley is an example. Next valley, the Switzerland Valley. This is Switzerland Valley. See, so valleys are the low-lying area. Okay, say they are the low-lying area. They were made by the action of rivers. Next is about plain. The flat lands. Plains are the flat lands. They are the flat lands on the earth's surface. Plains are the flat. It is flat. Flat lands on the earth's surface are called plains. They are the flat lands. The plains are the flat lands. They are the flat lands on the earth's surface are called a plain, and they have gentle slope. This is a plain. You can see this is a plain area, and this is having gentle slope here and here. Okay, so plain, flat lands on the earth's surface. They are the flat lands. Okay, no mountain, no hill. They are the flat lands on the earth's surface are called plains, and they have gentle slope. This example will tell you what is a plain. See, these areas, they were made by the rivers. Okay, they were made by the rivers. These flat lands, these are known as flat lands. This is a plain. Okay, the flat lands on the earth's surface are known as plain. Once again, flat lands on the earth's surface are known as plain. So this is an example for a plain. And the rivers flowing through them deposit rich alluvial soil. I have told you that the rivers flow through the plain, will deposit the rich alluvial soil and make the plains very fertile, the rivers flowing through the plain, will deposit alluvial soil. The rivers flowing through the plain will deposit alluvial soil and make the plains very fertile, Fertile means the soil become the soil suitable for the growing of different plants, suitable for the cultivation of different plants, and hence the plains are thickly populated. When the soil is good and it is good for the cultivation of plants, okay, when it is good for the cultivation of plants, definitely people will settle there. People will move to that area for agriculture purpose. When so many people will move to that area become thickly populated. So once again, plain, the rivers flowing through the plain deposit rich alluvial soil. They will deposit rich alluvial soil and make the plains very fertile. Fertile means the soil suitable for the cultivation of different crops, and hence the plains are thickly populated. See, this is a plain. Okay, when the river deposit the plain, I've given this picture for the deposition of alluvial soil, and these are the major rivers and the soils. When the rivers deposit soil, that area become fertile. That soil is known as alluvial, and the alluvial soil make that area fertile one. Example for a plain, Indo-Gangetic plain. Example for plain is Indo-Gangetic plain. Indo-Gangetic plains in India have been built by the rivers in Ganga and Indus. They are the two rivers. Ganga and Indus are the major rivers of India, and Indo-Gangetic plains, the name itself says that they are Indo-Gangetic, Indus and Ganga. Indo-Gangetic, the plain which is made by two rivers, Indus and Ganga. That is why that plain is known as Indo-Gangetic plain. They are known as Indo-Gangetic plains in India, have been built by the rivers Ganga, Indus and its tributaries. I have told you what is a tributary. When the small rivers join the major river, it is known as tributary. When the small streams or the small rivers join the major river, they are known as tributaries. So the Indo-Gangetic plain in India have been built by the two major rivers Indus, Ganga and its tributaries. They stretch from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. I'll show you. This is a map of India showing the Indo-Gangetic plains. The map of India showing the Indo-Gangetic plains. Here I have told you it is stretched from Punjab. It is stretched from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. So this is Indo-Gangetic plains. So now let us revise the landforms. What is a landform? They are the natural features. They are the natural features on the earth. They are the natural features on the earth. The landforms are the natural features on the earth. And there are different types of landforms are there, and the landforms are different in nature on the base of height, on the base of formations. They are different in nature. Mountains are rocky masses. Mountains are the rocky masses. Mountains are the rocky masses. They are the rocky masses that are higher than the surrounding with the steep slopes. They are the rocky masses. Mountains are the rocky masses with the steep slopes. Example for mountain. So mountains are formed as a result of several kinds of movements on the earth. And the example for movement is volcanic eruption. This example give you how the mountains are formed. When the volcanoes erupted, they will deposit the lava over the earth's surface, and that will lead to the formation of mountains. Once again, how a volcanic eruption leads to a mountain formation. When the volcano erupted, they will deposit all the materials on the earth's surface. That will lead to the formation of volcanic mountains. The mountain range. What is a mountain range? A long chain of mountains. They are the long chain of mountains. It's a chain of mountains. And the Himalayan range is the world's higher mountain range. This is a mountain range. This is the Himalayan mountain range. This is the world's highest mountain range. And the Himalayas have three main ranges. They are the Greater Himalaya, the Lesser Himalaya and the Outer Himalaya. The Himalayas are having three main ranges. Chain of mountains are known as ranges. They are running parallel to each other. They are Greater Himalayas or Himadri, Lesser Himalayas or Himachal. Greater Himalayas or Himadri, Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. Okay. Peak. The mountains have pointed tops. The pointed tops are known as peak. And Mount Everest in the Himalayas is the highest mountain range. Next we learned about pass. What is a pass? It's a gap. It's a gap between mountains. And Khyber Pass, Bolan Pass, so many other passes are there like Nadula Pass, Jilapilla, Usojila, etc. And in your textbook, you are having Khyber Pass and Bolan Pass. And this is a pass, it's a gap between mountains. Pass is a gap between mountains. And a low-lying, what is a valley? It's a low-lying area between the mountains is called a valley, and valleys are formed by the action of rivers. Valleys are formed by the action of rivers, and the rivers, the soil deposited by the rivers make the valleys, low-lying area of the valleys, fertile. And example for valley, Kashmir Valley, Switzerland Valley. And about the plains, flatlands. Plains are the flat lands. On the earth's surface are called plains. They have gentle slope. These are the flat lands. Okay, they are the flat lands on the earth's surface are called plains. They have gentle slopes. Sometimes if we consider this is a plain, sometimes some kind of slopes are there. Some kind of slopes are there. These are the flat lands. There are some sloping. Sloping is there here. Here also one slope is there. Okay. Plains. The rivers flowing through when the rivers flow through them, they will deposit soil. That soils are known as alluvial soil. Okay. Alluvial soils are the soils which are formed by the action of rivers. When the rivers flow through the plain area, they will plain area and mountainous areas, they will deposit soils. That kind of soils are known as alluvial soil, and alluvial soil is the most fertile soil in the world. And this is the deposition of alluvial soil, how the rivers deposit the soil and all. And example for a plain, Indo-Gangetic plain. In India, the entire Indo-Gangetic plain is formed by the action of two major rivers, Indus and Ganga. The two major rivers, Indus and Ganga, and its tributaries. Tributaries are the small rivers. They are the small rivers join the major rivers. Okay. So an Indo-Gangetic plain stretch from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. And this map will show you where the Indo-Gangetic plain located. Thank you. And if you have any doubt, you can call me. Okay.